Matt, how are you?
Good, man. How are you?
Good, thanks. Thanks for coming out this morning. Really appreciate it. I know you had a bit of a commute, but let's kick it off with your name, your camera that you use every day, and what drink we had this morning, or you had this morning.
Yeah. So, firstly, I'm kind of a weird one with the whole persona with my name. Kind of similar to Vivian Meyer, but not the same reason. I go as Blind Eyes. People call me Blind. A very select few people know my real name, but I tend to stick to my persona. And the reason for that is because, well, I've already said it, it's a stigma, it's a persona, it's the reason I'm called Blind Eyes is for the way I portray my art. So if people knew my real name, it would kind of take that persona away from what I'm trying to portray with my art. So I tend to stick with that.
Awesome.
My main camera is the X-T5, and my full frame equivalent lens is a 24 preferred lens. I like to capture wide scenes, get in the thick of it, and I can really just be able to, if I'm walking past someone, I can be right here and I can get a wide scene, an ISO motion, or a 35. I don't really like my telephotos. If it's not the X-T5, then I also have an X100V,
Okay.
which is good for if I'm not going out for like a proper shoot and I just want to have it there in case, I'll use the X100V. So that's me on gear for now.
And what did you drink this morning?
I had a chai latte, I
Not a
believe.
big fan of coffee, apparently. You're not a big fan of coffee, apparently.
Yeah, not a coffee drinker. And I also had a massive sip of some believed water, as I thought it was, but it was
Sparkling water.
Sparkling water. And, no thanks.
Not a fan. Okay. Which way do you want to walk? Do you want to walk this way, or where do you want to go?
We can walk this way. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, whatever, man.
Yeah.
Wherever you want to go. It's your show today. So, how did you get into photography? Like, what got you into photography, and what keeps you going?
Yeah, this is an interesting one because I actually jumped into it very, very, very spontaneously. So in 2019, when I was, how old was I? 16, 17, I was repping streetwear, like this kind of stuff,
Yeah.
and I was doing freelance modeling, just on my iPhone, just getting friends, family to take photos of me. Then my cousin had a Nikon or Canon D500, I don't know, some entry level camera
Okay.
that she'd take photos of me for, and I really loved doing that. So I would buy outfits every 2 weeks or something and go out to the city and, pose for them. And through that is how I actually discovered street photography, because going out in the urban environment and seeing other people taking photos, and I was intrigued because I only really saw that kind of stuff in journalism, like in the news and stuff. So one of the modeling shoots I did was with a guy he's not really online anymore, so I won't really mention the name. We did a shoot together and I paid him, and he was a street photographer as well. So, and I looked at his gallery and I'm like, oh, this is like a really cool thing. So I started researching it. I started researching cameras of my own, and I jumped right into it, completely clueless. I had no idea what aperture was, no idea what ISO was, shutter speed. I learned all of that, like a few YouTube videos for the basics, and then everything else has just been completely
Self-taught, yeah.
Completely trial and error, self-taught, yeah.
Amazing, man. Amazing.
So yeah, that's how I got into photography, and I'm still every day. I'm familiar with everything now, but yeah, my first 2 years was a lot of trial and error, finding my style, my shooting style, all that kind of thing.
What do you think your shooting style is, Blind?
Shooting style, I'm not really sure how to put a style to it, but I like to observe society as it is. I'm sure that's what most photographers would do. Mm-hmm. And it's more of a trying to blend in, but so blending into society and then being able to capture that moment stealthily. So for example, just if there's this subject here, for example, she walked away. I think I spooked her. But Yeah, bad example. Say I'm walking in a crowd, because it's harder when you're solo, and plus we're actually making
We're
a
on
commotion
camera,
right now, so it's
yeah.
making it a lot difficult. I'm hoping they're going to kiss, surely. Damn it. But stuff like that,
I see
where,
what
you know,
mean, yeah.
so, look, I actually don't know how to answer this question on style. If I see something, I go bang quickly. Like if I notice someone about to sneeze, I'll be like bang, you know. Sometimes I don't care if people see me, as long as I get the moment without being spotted. But sometimes it depends on the subject really. If you're worried about confrontation or whatever, I'll be a bit more sneaky. But I don't often, water just hit me on the head. Sometimes because I zone focus at like F8 for example, and sometimes I have it like down the hip or just carrying it up here, and I won't look like I'm taking a photo. I look like I'm looking over there, and I've actually pressed the shutter, and
Right.
they wouldn't have a clue. And then I'll wait like 10 meters or something. I'll have a look at it to see, because if I go like this and go like that, they're going to be like, did he just take a photo of me?
Right,
So
right.
you don't do that. So, and if you hold your camera up high, and you wait, I'll rephrase that. If you hold your camera down low and you see someone and you raise your camera and then do it, you've
Give him a clue, yeah.
Yeah, you've given them a clue. So if you hold it here, and even something simple like, what I do is I pretend I'm like fiddling with my camera just before I'm coming up to them. So I can turn, like as I'm doing this with my hand, I can turn and go bang if I'm at a higher shutter speed, and I can freeze it and they wouldn't have a clue. Or just hold it here or whatever. It really doesn't, there's many different ways of doing it, but it just depends. So just trying not to spook them is the main goal. So whatever
Gotcha.
way works to not do that is how I'll do that, yeah.
Gotcha. So you're pretty much relying on your intuition when it comes to finding your subjects. You're pretty observant from what I just saw recently, just right now.
Yeah, obviously because we're talking now, I'm not really concentrated, but
It's tough, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
when I am, sometimes I have music on to kind of fade me out of society.
Okay.
But that can actually do the opposite effect, because if you're,
Go that way?
yeah, let's go this
Sure.
way. If you're faded out of society and you didn't hear, like, say someone yelled and there's like a commotion, you've just missed a really good moment.
Okay.
So it's, I don't know, it's like sometimes I'll put music on just so I don't have to worry about, I don't know, people confronting you or just whatever. I don't know, you can
Does it
go,
help you focus maybe?
yeah, help you, just be in a zone and just be careless and, you know, soothe yourself instead of constantly like
know what you mean.
listening to things.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
yeah, mostly I take my music off so I can concentrate better. Yeah,
Gotcha. How often do you go out to photograph?
I would love to do it a lot more, but at the moment, because I work. Hang on. Not bad. Because I work Monday to Friday, 6 to 2:30.
Okay.
And I live about, I think it's 24 kilometers from the CBD.
Okay.
I can't do it that often, because if I finish work and then I head to the city, the sun's already quite low and all the buildings, like there's only certain areas you can go to get light. And I love contrastful photos and playing with light. But sometimes I'll go out for a night and do some flash work, or just do, I don't know, some underground work.
Okay.
So maybe once or twice a week. So anywhere between 1 and 3, no more than that. But yeah, I just got back from London, as some people know, for a whole month.
Yeah, that was
And
amazing.
so this is my second time taking photos
Since you were
for
there.
since I've come back. So
Wow.
it's like 5 weeks or 6 weeks, because I completely I outdid myself. 32 days consecutively taking photos.
That's a lot.
I'm like, I do not need to do this for a while. Plus, I live here, so I know the streets in and out. it kind of gets a bit boring. But yeah, anywhere between, on average, once or twice a week.
God.
For
How
shooting.
much time would you spend out?
Well, this question, it depends on how you're going. If you're getting banger after banger after banger, I'm gonna want to stay out for a lot longer. But
Okay.
if I'm not feeling it, I'm getting some crap stuff. Not bad. If I'm really not feeling it and I'm getting like maybe one shot every hour or something, or if there's nothing appealing to me whatsoever, I'll just call it quits.
Okay.
But that also brings the question, hang on. I did not even look at that guy whatsoever. I just, what was I saying about
If you're not getting, if you're not feeling it.
Yeah, look, I've been in some moods where I'm not feeling it. I'm either like just in a low mood or whatever, and then something happens and I get that one good shot. It's made going out worthwhile. But look, you can go out with a good mindset and get absolute rubbish, and that's completely fine because street's completely unpredictable. Like, if you're a landscape photographer, it's a sunny day, you go to the spot you wanted to, 9 times out of 10, you can achieve what you wanted to achieve. But if I go out, say tomorrow, in hope for some good moments to happen, well, that's just a matter of fate, isn't it? So,
Gotcha. My next question is going to be around what I've seen so far, is that you seem to review every photo after you take it.
yeah, I do like to. That can be a bad thing because it can
Not
kind
judging, I'm just curious
Yeah,
because you're on the move. It's not like you're hanging out in the same spot, right? Why do you think you're reviewing the photo? Excuse me. 'Cause it's not like you're, staying in the same spot and trying to work on a scene. You're literally finding the subject, you're taking a photo, you're moving on.
The reason I look at them is I just like to know if I got the shot. Firstly,
Okay.
secondly, if I'm camping or fishing in the photography sense, that would make a lot more sense to look at your photos if you're fishing. I just missed a good moment then, it doesn't matter. So you can recompose your shot, evaluate your settings, blah, blah, blah. That's another reason. If evaluate your exposure and that kind of thing, if it's good enough for the next shot that you're going to get.
Gotcha.
But mainly I just like to see if I got the shot at least. That's really it.
Okay.
It can be a bad thing because quite a few times actually I've gone to look at it and I've wanted to observe it, or I've posted it on my Insta story and then I just missed something right in front of me.
Right.
It does happen, but look, I just like to look at what I got. I don't know.
Whatever makes you happy, man. That's just curious, more of a curious question. Which way do you want to go?
Well, I'm liking the sun. That sun's
Right here?
there, so we'll continue walking up here. and then
We
might do a
can hang out. If
U-turn.
you want to fish for a little bit here, you're more than welcome to. We can hang out and chat.
Oh, no, I don't need to fish here.
Okay.
Nah, it's all good. The style I'm going for today is just walking, and something comes my way, bang. I did bring my variable ND filter with me.
Okay.
I don't think I'll use it for like the interview thing, but sometimes I do like to use ICM to get more creative stuff, more dark and just weird kind of things. But for now, because this is my second time in like 6 weeks shooting, I'll just do the normal.
Do the normal stuff.
thing, yeah.
Gotcha. I know you've recently got into getting quite a few books. Can you tell me a little bit more why you
Got into. I think I'm addicted.
addicted to getting books? What's going on?
Why have I been getting
Yeah,
books?
curious.
Because
What got you triggered to go buying books, and why have you feel like, I think you said 20 books now, right? Pretty recently you've gotten up to 20 books.
about 20-ish, maybe more. Maybe I've still got some in the mail trying to arrive. I mean. The reason is because firstly I want to support. I support photography, obviously, so I want to be a supporter of people. That's one. Secondly, I want to be able to having your photos in the digital world compared to having photos in the real world, 2 completely different things.
Right.
And being able to sit down and relax and open a book and see it in person and actually have it there is completely different than having it on a screen where
Absolutely.
it doesn't exist. You can't. You got to zoom in and see detail. It's just terrible.
Different experience.
And it's say you want inspiration or something, instead of looking it up on your phone, or whatever, on a small screen that's like that big, you've got something that's here, and you can sit there and look and go, wow, and be proud. You can be proud for them and be proud with them, and you can also be inspired to. Another reason as well is because I'm currently working on my own book, as me and yourself discussed earlier.
Yeah.
So you can kind of see how other people have curated theirs, what ideas they're putting in it. So all of that in the one, pretty much, yeah. But pretty much just expanding my gallery, being able to see photos whenever I want to, and also just discovering more artists, really. Yeah.
Who's your most recent favorite photographer that you got a book from?
Well, I just ordered Trent Park's Monument.
Nice.
Let's stay here for a
Stay
bit
here,
because
sure.
the sun's really nice here. Yeah, the third edition of Monument I've ordered. That hasn't came yet. But just say favorite artist, favorite book.
Favorite artist that you've discovered recently from your books?
Okay. I would say, well, I discovered Vivian Maya like a year ago or something, but I recently watched her documentary. Well, the guy who discovered her, I forgot his name. Do you know his name?
I don't remember now.
I think it's Josh something, or I don't remember. I watched it. It was like an hour and something documentary on how he discovered her and her whole arc. 100,000 in her archive.
Wow.
Over, I think, I don't know, 60 or 70 years,
Wow.
maybe less. I don't remember. A lot of photos.
A lot of photos.
I'd say her or Trent Park. I can't wait to get Trent Park's
Trent Park.
Monument. So definitely that.
How did you come across discovering Trent Park then?
We're going to get run over.
Oh.
How did I discover Trent Park?
Yeah.
Fuck. I have a really bad memory, so
That's okay.
I actually have no idea.
Don't remember.
Trent Park. How did I discover Trent Park?
I mean, he's the grandfather of street photography
no.
in Sydney.
Actually, I do know.
Okay.
Some people commented on one of my photos saying reminds me of Trent Park, and I'm like, oh, I'll look this guy up, and that's actually how I discovered him. I'm
there
pretty
you
sure
go.
that's how.
That's a pretty nice compliment to get.
But most if it's not from people mentioning them, it's just purely my research, and I've discovered people.
How do you typically do your research? Is that YouTube? Do you?
I'll YouTube, Google, articles.
Okay.
Yeah, the large mediums. Yeah, that sounded stupid. Large mediums. the popular ways. That's what I meant. Yeah.
Gotcha, okay. I'm curious. Obviously, you said you're working on a book and maybe a zine, and you've got a bit of a body of work build up. So, what are your long-term plans with photography? What do you hope to achieve with photography?
What I hope to achieve, what are my long-term goals?
Yeah.
Or plans?
If you have some. If you don't, it's totally fine.
Yeah, definitely. Or I do want to have, hopefully, a career in photography.
Okay.
Or semi-career, whatever have you. But my plans at the moment is to open up my website, which is a work in progress at the moment. Oh, that was a good one. Yeah, it's a work in progress at the moment. What's a work in progress? My website.
Your website, yeah.
Yeah, see, I see something and then I just get fucking mind blank.
Another feeling.
Yeah. So once my website's open, I can start selling my prints, frames. I can do bookings easier, and I can once my book is ready to be published and whatnot, I have a place to put that there and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, right now it's this is my 4th year in photography. It doesn't seem like much, and I'm only 21. But yeah, I'm at the point now where I really want to progress and do the prints, make the book.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
so the long-term plans is really to just, I'm hoping to be, in 10 years or so, be considered on the one of the good, the good photographers of all time, whatever. So I'm not trying to.
I know, you try to be humble. I get it.
Yeah, I just want to be.
You want to be known for
Yeah,
your work.
I want to. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
When I die, I want my name to live on. I want the legacy
A
to
bit of
live
legacy,
on.
yeah.
So yeah,
Love
that's
it.
pretty much.
I think a lot of us probably in the same boat. Just want to leave a body of work behind that we're
Yeah,
proud
well,
of.
I'm not another brick in the wall. I don't. I really don't understand that concept of work. You know, you go home, you go to work, you go home, you cook dinner, you sleep, you go to work, and then they don't have any projects. It's just nothing. It's just live, breathe, die. Like, I don't understand that whole concept of life. So that's not what I want.
Completely agree. I think life's too short to be on the hamster wheel. It's far too short. Awesome. What else? What else do you want to talk about?
Well, I guess since we touched on base of my name before, I could describe, because a lot of people actually ask, "Oh, what does Blind Eyez actually mean?" Or what does my logo mean? I think we just discussed why I'm called Blind Eyez. So originally, I wasn't. Excuse me. When I started, I was just blah 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 photography. It was just my name, photography.
Sure.
And then I started doing I started representing my work in a lot more of a meaningful and dark way. And I thought, well, I need to. Let me go here for a second.
Sure.
Smart work. Whatever.
What you gotta do?
2 seconds. They walked into the shadows, they ruined it. Yeah, so I guess this would be a good time to explain the meaning behind Blind Eyez. What does it mean? Why I chose it? So, I actually am not Blind Eyez. My name's Blind Eyez, but I'm not Blind Eyez. Blind Eyez is everyone around me. And what it means is how everyone is completely oblivious to what goes on in the real world around them. Especially in the modern era when everyone, literally almost, look, this guy ahead of us, earphones, like 90%, or well, maybe our youth, 90% of our youth, earphones, texting
phone,
away.
Yeah.
They're missing absolutely everything. It's not just the phones and blah blah blah. It's just people's ignorance and being careless about what actually goes on around them and not being able to interpret simple things. Like for example, this parent and child right here. She you don't know if she's a single mother. You don't know what her, because there's no other parent figure there. You don't know if what she's been through, why she's out here having a lunch date with her children. That's just the beginning of it. But like you can go further and say it's 10 o'clock at night, it's raining, and there's a isolated bus stop, and there's some person there just waiting for a bus. What drove them to go and catch a bus at that time of night? Have they just gone through a breakup? Have they just finished a really hard 12-hour shift? You just really don't know. And when you capture a moment like that, there's 1,000 different stories you can interpret from that. So
that's very deep, man. I love that.
Yeah, that's why I'm called Blind Eyez, and that is the blind eyes
around you.
Around me. That's the stigma.
I'm completely with you on that.
2 seconds.
Oh, good.
Wasn't looking at my camera, so I fucked the exposure up. Go over here for a second. I was waiting for this couple to kiss. It's a bit dark because I was more focused on the moment. I didn't want to stuff around, but I definitely got them smooching.
Oh, that's good, man. Beautiful.
That's what I was hoping would happen before at the lights, but
yeah.
So those are actually some of my favorite photos to get, people kissing, and you can always tell when someone's about to. But you just read, they're holding hands, they're laughing, they're getting closer. You know what's going to happen. When I was in Paris, my first day shooting in Paris actually. Well, it was the day after, it was the morning. So like my first proper day out shooting, there was a couple at a street light there, and it took maybe 2 minutes for the lights to change, and the whole time I'm like, they're gonna kiss. I know they're gonna kiss. And then just before the light turned green, they kissed and then they walked off. And if I missed that shot, I would have been
Is
so
that
upset.
the printout image we saw this morning?
Definitely that one.
I remember that.
One of my proudest photos. One of my proudest photos of the trip and in my archive, definitely.
Love it. Just picking up where we left off around people. I don't think I'm going to use the word ignorance. I think it's. I don't know what else would I call it, but I spent a bit of time on the train from home to the office to home, and I used to be one of those people who was on the phone, social media, but now I'm looking for photos and looking around the people around me, and I see what you're saying is a lot of people. That time is their. I don't know, they're just zoned out. They're just on their phones, consuming stuff. They're not really paying attention of what's around them.
Absolutely.
And I'm lucky enough to travel over the Sydney Harbour Bridge, which I still, like, after 15 years living in Sydney, I still think is stunning, beautiful.
Yeah, for sure.
So I get it. I get people are on the hamster wheel. They're trying to make a living, and they're just zoning out of all the small, beautiful things around them.
And look, and there's nothing wrong with. I mean, we live in an era where it's technology all around us, and your friends are everything that you need is in your friggin' pocket.
In your pocket, yeah.
And when you're on a train, for instance, and there's no one to talk to, I mean, you're not going to just be an outcast and not talk to anyone. So you pull your phone out too, and you talk to your friends and whatnot. But I like to at least take photos of. People on the train and whatever they're doing, maybe people laughing after a football game, whatnot. Right. But if it's just silent, dead, and everyone's got their headphones on, I mean, I'm just gonna put my headphones on too, And I do love music, and music does distract my mind from whatever it's gonna go on about. So yeah, music's a big thing for me, but yeah, that's just the world now, unfortunately.
Do you photograph kids as well? I mean, something from the
I know it's a controversial thing.
A little bit, yeah.
In the street photography industry, I see absolutely nothing wrong with it. I think it's a beautiful thing actually, because child innocence and happiness and joy, and a lot of good moments come from kids interacting with stuff and that kind of thing. A lot of people, I've been called a pedophile many times.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Yeah, and I really couldn't give a shit, because I mean, people who have that kind of intent, what are they thinking about? I'm thinking about, wow, what a beautiful moment. And for them to think
that is something else. Yeah.
For them to think about it in that way, I mean, I do get it, because there are sick people in the world, of course. But what I don't understand is, say for instance, that person, that mother and daughter that just walked past then, if I took a photo of that, in what regards can that be a sexual intent at all? I just do not understand how a sex offender or whatever could even use something like that to do whatever they're going to do. I think it's just completely mind-boggling for me for people to even think something like that. So
it's it's a bit of a strange thing.
There's obviously a border. Like if you're at what a character that was. Fuck. If you're at the beach and people are obviously at the beach, people are less clothed, so you've got to be a lot more wary if you're doing that kind of thing. So yeah, of course there's a boundary.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really do not see a problem with it whatsoever. And if you do, that's fine.
Yeah, just don't photograph kids.
Just do your own thing. I'll do my thing, and I'm obviously not doing anything bad, so just go away. And if you want to be violent, then you're the one who's got the issue, not me. So I don't really care about that.
Anything else that you want to talk about? So we've gone kind of about 30 minutes now. We talked about quite a few things. Talked about your name. Talked about your techniques and how you photograph and what you're looking for. Taking photos of children, obviously, as well. What else? Is there anything else that I haven't asked you that you want to talk about?
That you haven't asked and want to talk about? Damn it, I'm overexposed. See, that's the thing, because we're just in shade. I was at a lower exposure.
Right.
Higher exposure.
And I'm talking to you and distracting you.
Yeah,
so.
that's all right, whatever. Ooh, that's a good one. I like the shapes, how it's like
Oh yeah,
that, and
that looks awesome.
yeah, it's pretty
Nice
decent.
one, eh?
Pretty decent one. I don't really have anything further to touch on other than the philosophical side of it. This guy's here all the time, so. Oh, that's another thing. Like you asked about photographing kids. A lot of people also have the controversy, or whatever, however you say it, of the raw photography of photographing the homeless as well.
All right.
There's also a boundary with that. But look, the way I see it, if you've published that in a book or in a gallery, like man, I went to in Paris. I went to the Cartier-Bresson Foundation,
Okay.
where they did a massive exhibition, and I discovered Ouija. That's actually another way I've discovered photographers from exhibitions. Yeah, have you heard of Ouija before?
No, I haven't.
I think he's an American,
Okay.
very raw photographer from the, I think, 30s to 60s or 30s to 70s or
Okay.
maybe 40s to 70s, somewhere around there. And he actually photographed people like after they've been shot in the street and they're
Oh,
dead in the
jeez.
street.
Okay.
There was a photo where it's pretty provocative. I actually have the book, so I'll send you the photo later.
Please.
It's of these this family. I think they were like homeless or something, and they're sheltered in like this box thing. And he's gone above, and he's taken a photo of them. And one of the child's, it's got no top on. It's like nothing that bad, but like yeah, that would be considered pretty controversial. And there's lots worse I've seen, like for example the Vietnam girl. You know, she's completely exposed, naked,
Right.
whatnot. And people know who she is. Then you've got what other? Oh, the touchy subject, but the falling man as well.
Falling man?
From 9/11.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Those are although they might not be a photo someone would want to look at, those are the type of photos that in history, when looked at, it's like, wow, this is what happened. This is the raw moment of it. That's why it's called raw photography. So look, I don't care if you think I'm what's the word? Obstructive or intrusive.
Right.
My only intent is to showcase what the time was like at that moment, and in 20, 30 years' time, you can look back and be like, wow, this is a tough moment. This person, what has this person gone through? You know, it's not to exploit someone and make them feel whatever, but yeah, it's a weird thing, that one.
You're trying to capture a very specific part of history that hopefully will age really well.
Absolutely.
You know, and you look back in 20, 30 years, you'd be very proud of it, but also, like you said, these are moments you look back and it's gonna, I mean, I'm thinking about these photos you explained to me, and now I'm really intrigued to go and find them and look at them and see.
Another thing too, when you look at a photo or when you watch a movie, anything that's imagery, and there's an emotion portrayed, someone crying, someone whatever, the human instinctively, hang on, let's go around. Human to human or human and life, they instinctively, what's the word? Like they, not match. What's the word?
Chemistry?
No, like when they interpret. I'm really mind blanking right now, but like when you watch a movie and someone's crying, you get really immersed.
Oh right, yeah.
So
Yeah.
when you look at a picture of for example, this is another raw photo. In the 30s, the Great Depression. You've got the mother and the two kids,
Okay.
and she looks like she's had a really hard day. She's just had enough of life, and you look at that and you feel immersed within that person's their emotion. So what I really like to do is if there's an emotion there in that photo that you can connect to, that's what I was trying to say, connect to. That makes a good photo, in my opinion. Once a person can feel connected to it and they can feel within
Absolutely.
it. Like if the photo makes you cry, that's a good thing because it's really portrayed the moment that you're trying to showcase.
Really well said, man. Yeah,
yeah,
I
that's
really
what
agree
I
with that. The emotional connection to art is the one thing that I think drives all of us, is to try to capture something that's emotional. So thank you for sharing that. Anything else that we haven't talked about that's up of mind?
I think that's pretty much it
That's
for
it?
yeah for the walkie-talkie or whatever the hell you call it.
Coffee and cameras, man. You're killing me. Coffee and cameras. Although you're not even coffee. Thanks for being out here, man. I really appreciate it. And can't wait to get this out to everyone to see.
Say one more time.
Thanks for being out here with me. I appreciate it.
And what was the second thing you said?
And can't wait to get this to everyone to see.
Oh yeah, same. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, man.
I really enjoyed seeing you as well,
Same,
and
man.
meeting you actually too.
Same here. Thank you so much for being out.
Thank you.